Hi everybody, welcome back. It's been a little while since I've done a video, but here's a pretty good one. This one's a quill-bodied blue wing olive dun. I don't fish a lot of duns, but if I do, this is one that works pretty good. I figured I'd get it going for the olives that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. This is a size 16 in the vise. I've already started my beginning of my thread base with my gray-brown UTC 70 thread. Taking about 7 or 8 barbs off of a medium, I think they call it medium Pardo or light Coq de Leon tail. You could use pretty much anything. I like these because they're speckled. Gives the illusion that they're barred. Basically secured those in. Now I'm going to use some Polish quills, peacock quills. These things are fantastic. I got these from Kevin again over at Performance. I'm going to tie one of them in, just as you see here, right along the side. Depending on how you want the banding to go will dictate whether you put the darker side up or down, but you always tie it towards the rear. And I'm just going to build a nice little ice cream cone or carrot shaped cone here with a thread. I'm going to bring my thread right back to where that quill is. I'm going to show you a neat little trick here. It's going to make securing these quills much easier. I'm going to grab the quill and the thread together at the same time, and I'm just going to rotate the rotary function on my vise. Now don't be so concerned if your quill doesn't completely overlap itself, because by doing this, and as you've seen here, I've used a gray-brown thread for the olive, hint hint. This gives me a multi-hued quilled body for the body portion of this mayfly. It's a pretty neat little effect you can do, and it only takes a couple seconds time. You know, the traditional way of doing these, which isn't wrong by any means, is to, wrap these with a pair of hackle pliers and make it perfect, but it's a little time consuming. The nice thing about doing this with the thread that way, if you by chance happen to let go of that quill, it's still going to be secured right where you left off, so you don't have to worry about it. So it's a neat little trick I learned. I just picked that up one day. I'm sure somebody else has done it before. I'm not thinking that I designed that by any means. But so anyway, enough of my rambling. Next thing you're going to do here is just put a light, really thin coat of cement on there. And that's just to secure that quill, because they are a little bit brittle. Sometimes they will break. Now we're going to get some possum off of a possum skin. I broke this out in my last tying class. On a lot of my smaller mayfly duns and emergers, this is what I use for wing material these days, especially if you're looking for a fly that's going to land very softly on the surface. Now, granted, it doesn't quite float as well as snowshoe, but it's pretty darn good and it's very durable. As long as you comb out a lot of the underfur, which you see here, and you use the portion stacked near the rear here, which has a lot of crinkly fibers in it. Very easy to work with. So basically I'm tying this facing rearward a little bit, almost like a caddis, as you see. This is kind of like a reverse comparadun style. I like doing this way because that way I don't build up an enormous bump in the back rear portion of the fly. And I just trim those tips off at an angle. And I'm just going to kind of preen those fibers. And I'm going to work some thread wraps behind it to kind of prop them up a bit. If you're having issues tying comparaduns and you're having this enormous bump in the body of your fly, typically it's usually one of two things. Either you're using way too much material or the elk hair you have is not the greatest. You can tie your comparadun section of your wing in just as you see here. So two cool, really cool, easy tips on here to tie better comparadun style flies or upright emergers. So I'm just going to take a small rope of olive colored superfine, spin that onto my thread, and then I'm just going to dub over those thread wraps. If you wanted, you could put a little bit of cement on there. It's totally up to you. Typically you don't need it. Do 1 or 2 wraps behind that wing, and that's going to prop it up. I don't know if you've ever taken a look at the anatomy of some of the smaller blue wing olives that hatch, but the upper portion up near the wing is pretty stocky. So, and typically their wing is about 1.5 times the length of the body. So it doesn't hurt to have the wings on these a little bit longer. You just whip finish, clip your thread, and you're done. That's pretty much your fly. Like most of the flies I tie, it's pretty simple. You can see I kind of preen it out a little bit. What you want to do when you go to use that possum is get most of those guard hairs out of there before you pile it in there. And now that's basically your fly. Nice little segmented mayfly. Enjoy.